Welcome back to another episode of MotoGP Mac, and today we're going to talk about Simon Crafar being announced as the head of the MotoGP Stewards from the 2025 season on, replacing Freddie Spencer. Now, for me, Simon is a really good friend of the show, and I think it is probably about time that the Stewards panel changed, and I think, to be fair to Dorna and to the FIM, they got the right person for this job. There is no one in my mind more qualified than Simon Crafar to be able to be a head steward. While Freddie was a rider, he was a rider in a different era, and the behaviors have changed over the course of time. And yes, it's been a number of years since Simon has raced professionally. He is stayed in tune with the MotoGP paddock, and one of the most important things as his role as a reporter and a commentator is that he's always talking to the riders, and this is one of the things that Freddie Spencer lacked. He did not have interaction with the riders unless it was a media thing or they were in trouble, and the riders were openly admitted this was one of the major things. Simon Crafar has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in the paddock. Jorge Martin, Pecco Bagnaia, Marc Marquez, Marco Bezzecchi are all looking forward to having Simon in the stewarding panel. But they're under no illusions either. Simon is a very smart guy. Simon will see common sense. Simon will also realize that he's never going to make anyone happy. But I think, even from my days of racing, when you had a steward or a clerk of the course that you could talk to, it made an awful lot difference. You may have a disagreement about how an incident gone or went or what, but once the heat of the moment passes, you realize and you understand that this fella is actually very level-headed, and maybe you were wrong, or maybe you were right. But again, it is, for me, it's probably one of the biggest things that goes on. We've seen it over the course of the years with Freddie Spencer, and Freddie is a great guy, and do not get me wrong in this, I'm not shitting on him, but my problem with Freddie was the inconsistency. Two riders would do the same thing in the same weekend, one would get a different penalty to the other, and there's if the crime is the same, the time is the same. So I just think it's a really good thing. The other thing, I suppose, where I'm kind of sad is that Simon does give really, really, really interesting feedback and data to people on the grid, on the channels. He gives his time away nicely to show people how technology works in MotoGP. And he has a lot of respect in the paddock, so he will be missed from the day-to-day running of the reporting, the investigation, and all of that good stuff. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What do you think of Simon Crafar being announced as the head of the stewarding panel for MotoGP in 2025? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.